Good evening and welcome to this episode of Smart Tech This Week. I'm Andrew Barija, your host, and today we have a very interesting aspect, a very interesting subject to discuss about as we are looking at what we call the digital multi-card. First of all, imagine a world whereby you have all your records, your contacts, your information on just one card. You can actually access your workplace using that card. You can sign in using that card. You can sign out using that card. You can command bank transactions using that particular card. And today it's what the young innovators in Uganda are looking up to, this kind of technology. And this is what we call the NFC technology, and of course working on those gadgets, IT gadgets that are NFC enabled, and you will be in position to actually execute all your tasks. You walk around and you find that actually you have quite so many cards in your wallet, but imagine you just buy only one card and everything will be solved. And this is what the young innovators are doing in Uganda, and moreover this is a startup innovation. And of course they were at the National Science Week Expo exhibiting what they have, and of course it was quite really very remarkable. And this time around they have taken it to another level to ensure that they incorporate it into a real business, a real fintech startup. Of course it falls into the fintech, but also a wide variety in the technology sector. And now let's take a look at the multi-card, a multi-purpose card. In other words, if I'm to say that, we get to understand how this works, and of course what are the challenges they are facing as a result of trying to venture into this particular card. That and more coming up. Multi-cards are digital services aimed to transform and digitize contact information sharing through utilization of NFC technology. The focus lies on simplifying contact share process while developing seamless experiences for users. Our cutting-edge technology and integrations reshape how the individual, small businesses and the corporate worlds connect. The cards enable individuals and businesses share details fast and efficiently, enhancing value proposition to business prospects in a cost-effective, user-friendly and environmentally conscious manner. The online means of sharing allow editing, easy update of information, and efficient follow-up, which fosters stronger relations and connections. Young innovators in the country have put up efforts to explore further implementing the NFC technology concept.
I have a small background in digital marketing, so I wanted to create something that can easily help people market themselves faster and better, and cheaper as well. So I leveraged on the NFC technology because it's an upcoming technology that can be used for various things. So my major goal at first was to create a digital business card that helps people network right away, like you sell your hustle or your organization or product at that very moment, and then you get a real-time lead. But over time, when we went deep into near-field communication, we realized that it can actually be used for very, very many other things. So that's how we began coming up with various packages for various corporate organizations. So ideally, our product helps organizations reduce their expenditures on business cards by over 90%. So helping them to save on the amount of money they spend out on buying paper business cards. Because literally multi-card is the last business card you'll ever buy.
It was more of an idea shared between two people. Joshua approached me with the idea, and I was quite intrigued. We've been working on a couple of systems together. Some successful, some not. It has been a learning journey. But when he approached me with this idea, personally I saw a lot of possibilities with it. Because the thought of a business card, one card like this, I think calling it a business card is really limiting. But a smart digital card that can do so much was, should I say, enlightening. So much as and it's a simple idea really. So when you see, sometimes we fight with creating, they're friends of mine, I tell you, why are you trying to build a rocket when you can solve so many small problems around your country? Because we have small problems around, you might as well start with solving those problems and then the rewards are endless. So when I saw this, and the problem that there's a real problem that we are solving, because whenever there's a problem in society and you solve it, there's a lot that the society gives back. So when it brought that idea on board, we discussed and I saw so many possibilities about it. I'm like, oh, this is worth a try. So we have invested in so much, emotionally, financially, and time. Yeah, you go past our normal working hours to see that we have the best product for the market.
Near-field communication, or NFC, is a short-range wireless connectivity technology that uses magnetic induction to enable communication between devices when they are attached together or brought within a few centimeters of each other. This includes authenticating credit cards, enabling physical access, transferring small files, and jump-starting more capable wireless links. Broadly speaking, it builds on and extends the work of existing ecosystems and standards around radio frequency ID tags.
An NFC card, there's a chip in the card that enables near-field communication. Now, unlike a normal business card, you don't have to have so many cards. That is a very big advantage, especially for organizations. It helps in terms of costs that you put into the business cards and convenience, I could say, because instead of having so many cards in your pocket where you have to give them to 100 people, you just need one card. Now, we understood that, well, the market we're dealing with, we don't have, some people don't have maybe NFC enabled phones, so that's why we put a QR code. Now, behind this all, because that's like the hardware bit, we have a system where a user can sign up, create their details, create their account, have all their details that they need, work related, or even if you're not employed anywhere and you may be doing your side business or side hustles, you just have to put your entire profile. Just like you would have maybe, I could relate to LinkedIn, a profile on LinkedIn. So on the go, you can share this information. Now, the advantage with that is, one, these people can actually edit their information conveniently, like I said. If you have maybe a normal paper business card, someone would have to maybe go back to NASA and go through that whole hassle of changing all that information. But with our system, you just have your device. Anytime you can log in and edit all that information. So I believe that convenience and also saving in terms of the costs they're very key points. And our system is very easy to use. The user interface is easy. There's nothing complicated about it. So anyone should be really able to use it. We programmed everything from top to bottom ourselves. So we're not maybe using the softwares to build, maybe like programming softwares like text editors, all those, which everyone has to use anyway. But we have programmed the whole system ourselves. We just rely on some frameworks for programming languages. And for now, because we look at some things like maybe the traffic on the system, there are times when I think we had just launched and we had a lot of traffic. So we had to top up the bandwidth on our servers and all that. So depending also on the traffic, how the users are interacting with the system, we develop different needs to upgrade or see how to deal with any challenges that come up. But as of yet, we have not had any challenges. First of all, the technology, it's a very wide technology. It's used in so many things. We are basically getting a tip of tapping into like just a bit of the technology. For multicard, so far we are handling quite a number of things. Ticketing, we deal with KCCA ticketing. We do maybe like accessing maybe offices for people, the restricted entry, then the business cards themselves. So as a company, it's really limitless, should I say. The technology is diverse. You can use it on so many things. So the challenge we have, I think, is to make sure that we optimize all these things and give the best product to the customers.
NFC, based on contactless smart card technology, allows secure data exchange by using encryption of a special processor, an initiative that Josh Mulwana and Innocent Kwizera are working towards counteracting data breaches in the current system.
Programmatically, there's some security measures I have handled. But if there's a case like that, for example, one, of course, since it has made you've lost it manually, you could report to Multicard, and then we probably block the account so that no one is going to access that information momentarily until we maybe get a replacement. And we shall have to change maybe some ways to access that card later on, because it's basically about the profile. So if someone loses their card, they would have to report. Otherwise, we cannot tell whether you've lost it from out there you get. Yeah, then we have not got any issues yet in terms of security breach, and we are working tirelessly to make sure that we handle all those, because not everything can be covered at once, but we have covered quite a lot in terms of security. Maybe, should I say, like forms, people inputting in the information, we make sure the accounts are verified, so we don't have any bots, should I say, in the system. Someone has to verify their email. And in the back as well, where we host our system, we have some antiviruses, and some firewalls to handle that stuff. Yeah. But for that, maybe someone losing a card, we would advise that in case someone lost their card, they would just report back to Multicard, and we maybe block the account. The information is not accessed by the wrong people. The data, because data is sensitive to people. No one wants their data exposed out there. So I would say probably the wrong people getting access to the data is one of probably the strongest. Yeah, so it is something that everyone should be so keen about, and we are so keen on making sure that we have the backup so that the data is never lost. We make sure that no one can access that data. We don't want to see the data in the wrong hands. Yeah, so I think that was the most key, probably, breach I would point out. And everything else just kind of comes into the data.
The Uganda startup ecosystem is ranked at number 101 globally and shows a negative momentum, minus for sports since 2021. Uganda also ranks at number 5 for startups in Eastern Africa. There are 1 cities ranked in the top 1,000 in Uganda, and the top ranked city in Uganda is Kampala at globally 462. Uganda is an ideal place to locate for fintech, software, and data and health startups. As the most popular industries in the country, there is a sample of the 10 fintech startups in Uganda, 12 software and data startups in Uganda, and health startups in Uganda on the Startup Blink map. On the Startup Blink Global Startup Ecosystem map, there is a sample of 66 startups in Uganda, 11 accelerators in Uganda, 2 co-working places in Uganda, 12 organizations in Uganda, and no leaders in the country.
The startup world in Uganda is not an easy one. Yeah. For starters, you have to be, can I call it like a go-getter? Yeah. Things are not going to come easy. Yeah, and you should always be ready to make some sacrifices. Yeah. For example, for us, when we got this idea, we didn't really have capital. Sorry. By then we didn't really have capital. The only thing we could do was to sell the car that we had to start up Multicard, and that's how we kicked off the company. Yeah, and I think we kicked off on 21st February. So in 3 months' time, I think we shall be making a year. Yeah, it's been a journey full of ups and downs. Some organizations are going to approach them. They're not really going to understand why they should actually move out of their comfort zone of buying paper cards to digital business cards. But as the journey was going on, we realized many people actually found the advantage of having such cards. Yeah, so the acceptance from the Ugandan market, I should say at first it wasn't really so much of an easy journey, yeah, but they're picking up because Ugandans sometimes take long to pick up with tech. But then multi-card also has an advantage that it's unique in its way, because most of our clients who come to us, they'd be like, I saw this card with someone, your card with someone, and what does it do? They feel like it's doing magic. So maybe for our startup, it's kind of like giving us an advantage in the field. Like we get very many referrals from our previous clients. Yes.
Okay. So let's talk about the startup ecosystem in Uganda. What do you think?
Uganda's tech startup scene is taking shape with a series of innovators rolling out apps to address gaps in the market. But behind this rise in innovation is a tale of frustration among most tech firms in terms of financing their operations to become profitable companies. Taking an insight in the higher learning institutes, startups are a bit in frustrations.
Concerning the startups, I would say basically we have a good start as a college. As students, we have a good start, but as you know, challenges never miss out. Yeah, because students basically their minds are running day and day, out, in and out. But the problem we are facing is how to put these ideas into practice. We're really facing that problem because in my office, something I've been facing is I have had so many students inbox me. They have their ideas, but they have failed to be helped out. And in my office also, I'm also just a student. Yeah, so we are having, first of all, the problem with the connection with administrators. That's one. Yes, they're helping out, but not that to a big extent. I think the other problem is the funding. The funding also, because someone may be having a good project, but in terms of funds, it may not really come out. But concerning the startups, I have a feeling students are really innovative, and I've experienced that, but the problem is putting them into practice, and most of them are dying out.
As students, we have ideas, but in most cases, like you said, we are affected by the finances, because, you know, as a student, it's very difficult to have enough to maybe put your idea into action. But then, as me, as a finance person, I would advise or think that we can work with companies, try to involve some companies to sponsor us. Like you come up with an idea, you sell it to the company, talk to their managers. You never know, they might end up sponsoring the activities. And also, we can still convince the college, convince our administrators. In most cases, we need to come up with ideas that are really selling, because if you came up with a fake idea, it will be very difficult for you to convince, for example, the principal or even the vice chancellor, convincing them to buy your idea, to put finances there, because they look at the end result. Is it going to benefit all the students, or is it something that is just going to end there? So once we come up with good ideas, good plans, and we talk to the administrators, I'm really sure they will support us, since the Makerere is a University of Innovations.
For young populations in emerging markets such as Uganda, entrepreneurship and innovation are increasingly playing a transformational role in burgeoning digital age. However, despite being recognized as the most entrepreneurial country in the world just a few years ago, a significant number of ventures in Uganda continue to die before they really get off the ground. This has been strongly attributed to a broken ecosystem characterized by closed systems and limited market access, whereby entrepreneurs' ideas are not tested and validated for commercialization, limited available skilled talent in the areas of highly specialized technology and business management, outmoded and insufficient policies to foster innovation and entrepreneurship, and lack of access of patient capital options for startups to obtain the necessary resources for growth. It is crucial for the ecosystem as a whole to take a community approach where different stakeholders, entrepreneurs, academia, the private sector, and government deepen the application of technology to power socio-economic prosperity. The aim is to create a participatory environment by inviting these partners to join the collective problem identification and thereby deliver feasible, impactful solutions to the local community and across different key industries.
I'll be frank, yeah. Aligning your company to be in the right frame of paperwork and all that, it's not something that comes easy. The fees are high, yeah. So the playing ground is not really leveled for someone who's just starting up, yeah. You find yourself that the money you would have invested in your startup, you have to really cough a lot of it to try and legitimize your startup. Okay. And then even the operational expenses, they're quite high when you're starting up, because you have to do the fueling, you have to do the payments of, let's say in case you have employees, even if it's one or two, you have to fuel that pinch. So basically the money you're getting just literally goes back into the business, yeah. So, and if you have to look at startups out there, most of them need that initial push. So if they are able to actually get that push, even if it's, let's say, $5,000 or like 20 million around there, it would be of great value and would really help them get off the ground. That seed capital, very many startups need it. Yeah, and maybe even mentorship, yeah, because in an entrepreneurship journey, when you have a bad day, yeah, it's really going to toil you down, because you don't know, you're not like people who are employed that they're going to have a given amount X reflecting on their bank account at the end of the month. You have to look for that money because you have to survive, then you have to grow the startup, you have to pay your employees, you have to look for business. So it's really tough, yeah. But thanks to people who are coming up with programs to help startup companies to develop and then get from that initial stage to the next stage. Yeah, so I think the government can come up with more of such programs because very many people need them.
Technology incubation hubs are effective in linking talent, technology, capital, and also how to leverage entrepreneurial talent in order to accelerate development of new firms and thus speed up the uptake of technology within the economy and growth of the private industry.
I think for starters, they can create more of incubation hubs, yeah, because these incubation hubs, stroke centers, they really attract lots of hope from the Western world. Yeah, if for example, an organization like MasterCard came into the country and then they find out a given hub X has like 100 startups, yeah, it's easier for them to actually be like, you know what, let's see how we can help these startups, either through mentorship, through competitions that help them learn more of their businesses and align them in the right direction, or through funding itself. Yeah, so if there can be more of those hubs, because those hubs are relatively cheaper as compared to other office spaces, literally. Yeah, so you find that a startup will spend less money on management, but they'll be in they'll be in an area where they can easily learn from each other, where they are easily supported. So they easily get programs, so it creates more of a small world for them. So I think the government can put more effort in relation to that direction. Yeah, and also keep on talking about mentorship. Yeah, because people need to learn about the business side of their startup, how to get the customers, how to retain customers, how to grow their product, how to move their product from a given country X, region X to another region before you spread to another country. So I think funding and mentorship is really needed.
By Gate, you can picture what I was talking about in the introduction regarding the multi-CAD. As you can see, the inspirations, why do they really venture into this kind of technology and so many other aspects. But now, at this particular time, we are going to get into a short commercial break, and when we return, Remember, on Smart Tech, we don't just talk about technology, but we demonstrate technology. This is the home of demonstration of technology to the depth, to the details of how a particular innovation clearly works. That and more coming up after the break.
Smart 24, driving business.
Mukwano,
Yes,
I need you to help me watch the kids. I'm going to pay school fees.
I've finished.
Excuse me.
Relax. Sit down, watch TV. I've already paid.
Chikole for less, hakuna hassle, no stress. Whether night or day, tuli okay. Wanga tuli ku flexi.
Don't hustle to pay bills or send money. Chikole for less. Ne flexi pay. Hold it.
Chikole for less with FlexiPay. Dial *291# to transact or download the FlexiPay app to get started. Stanbic Bank. It can be. Stanbic Bank is regulated by the Bank of Uganda, and customer deposits are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda, up to 10 million shillings.
Smart 24, driving business.
Right, welcome back from that break, and at this particular time we're heading into the second segment of the show where, as I told you before, that we demonstrate the technology. Let's take a look at how the multi-card works, and let's take a look at how you can really use it on both Android. It has the Android version and the Apple version, so if you have any, but on condition that your phone is NFC enabled, that's when you will be in position to actually be able to use this multi-card. So let's take a look on the demonstrations of how this card really works.
Digital business card is an NFC card. Yeah, it's just a sample. So let's say this is the person who owns the card, and this is the person you're trying to network with. So when you meet someone in the field, all you do is to do that on their phone, it brings a notification, then it loads your digital profile in real time. So when they tap here, it takes them to your real time, for example, Twitter account, or any social media account that you filled in. If you tap here, it takes them to your Instagram. So this card will literally have your contact information, details about your workplace, like your role and what you do there, and something brief about you. So, for example, if you tap here, you write someone mail right away, and then when you click add to contacts, it's going to literally download everything, and it's going to set them in your contact book, just like that. So even in your contact book, you can still access someone's credentials, for example. And still access someone's Twitter account from there. So literally that's how multi-card works in brief. And there are phones that are not NFC enabled. They don't have near field communication. So someone scans your QR code to network with you. For example, they do that, and then it's going to load your credentials on their phone. Still the same, and then they can still add to contacts, and then they're going to serve everything on their phone. Yeah. Just with a tap. So you network with just a tap. Yeah. So when you network, someone is able to have all your social media details in one place. So if they go out there and they're like, I met a Joshua, but I don't remember his YouTube channel or his Twitter account, they just go to their phone book, search for Joshua. I'll show you. Let me search for Joshua. And everything about Joshua will be in their phone book, from his socials, literally everything will be saved in your contact book. Yeah. So you can have a multi-card being your business card, company ID as well, and also clock in, clock out, like for example, or restricted access, it lets you into the office. So you have one card doing 4 different functions for every employee at an organization. Yeah, so instead of having business cards, decks of business cards, one card that lets you in and all that, then you have different company IDs, you just have this one card that does all that. So imagine the feature of multi-card. Imagine a card, it's a business card, restricted access, and clock in, clock out, and you can also make payments. It's just one card. Yeah. Yeah, so maybe we also have what we call the stick-on. Multi-card is subscription based. Yeah. For example, a card goes for 45,000. Yeah. And it comes with 1 month free, and then thereafter you pay subscription of 1,000 shillings a month or 12,000 a year. So in case your subscription gets used up, this is what is going to happen. You're going to try and network, yeah, and it's going to tell you the subscription has expired, kindly renew. So you just log in with the details, and then you pay via mobile money or bank, and then your account comes back on air. So literally, instead of spending 120,000 shillings on business cards per year, because on average, people replace business cards thrice a year. A deck of 100 cards roughly is 40,000 shillings in Uganda. So if you replace thrice a year, you're going to spend 120,000 shillings on cards to 160,000. Multi-card, you're spending 12,000 shillings per card, yeah, and you have limitless tappings, you get. So literally you nailing down your expenditure on cards. By multi-card, we have what we call the multi-card chip or stick-on. You stick it at the back of your phone, yeah. We came up with this product for people who think maybe they could easily forget their cards at home or wallet in the car. So in case you've forgotten your card at home and you have your stick-on, someone just taps like that, and then your credentials load on their phone. So you're just still networking with just a tap. So you can either use a stick-on, or you can use a card, which literally does the same thing, or you can scan the QR code. So you network by either tapping for NFC-enabled phones, or by scanning a QR code for phones that are not enabled with NFC.
NFC also complements wireless technologies such as Bluetooth, ultra-wideband, Wi-Fi Direct, and QR codes. Its most significant advantage is that it is the easiest wireless technology for setting up a connection, which makes it useful for IT devices. However, it's not good as maintaining a connection over distances for long periods of time. But, however, Innocent Kwizera believes that it can be improved even much better in the near future.
We look towards dealing with payments. There are so many platforms that we have already, but we want multi-card to be, like we said, a card for everything, a multi-purpose card. So we don't intend on stopping on just business card, access control, all that. We want to handle payments as well. And just like you might use maybe Airtel Pay, all those things. We want to integrate all payments in this one card. We want it to be so convenient to use. You get it? I could maybe liken it to having a device that you can use for your office work. You use it maybe to make calls, you use it to send email. Now just imagine you have this one card that can act as your business card. You can share and tap that information on your go. You have a card to use for payments in your anywhere, maybe in the supermarket or something. So we look towards the payments. Then maybe also I could mention a little bit on the security you asked about. We would like to make sure that we find a way of making sure when you tap this card, let's say it's not in your hands, there's a way you can notify the owner that someone is trying to share information. So I think it's a work in progress, but we look towards all that.
NFC works on top of 3 crucial innovations in wireless tag readers, cryptographic credit card processing, and peer-to-peer connectivity to enable various applications. NFC builds on the work of the RFID set of standards and specifications such as ISO, IEC 1443 and ISO, IEC 15963. These take advantage of wireless communication technique using different physical principles than most wireless radios. Whereas most radios transmit data via radio wave propagation, NFC transmits data via magnetic field induction. NFC data transmits data at 13.56 MHz, which corresponds to a wavelength of 22 meters. One critical aspect of transmitting data via induction coupling rather than radio waves is that the field fades out far more quickly than radio waves. This is useful for preventing people from listening in on sensitive conversations about credit card transactions, door access codes, and other confidential information. The second significant NFC innovation involves cryptographic credit card processing used for contactless payments. Public key cryptography allows the card to generate a new authentication code for each transaction without revealing the raw details of 3-digit code on the back. This ensures that even if someone were to listen into a hacker queried a card on a busy subway, they could never glean the original card details. Andrew Barige, Smart Tech. Isn't that fantastic? Seeing how you can actually be in position to just work with one card, and you will be in position to actually access quite and lots about you. So in other words, this is like a marketing card. You can market yourself very efficiently, you know, other than working with a bunch of them. And you can just talk about yourself with just a card. Remember, you are commanding everything just using one card. All your accounts, all your information, social media platforms, all in just one card. And that's what we had for you this week on Smart Take. I'm Andrew Barige, and don't forget, channel 394 Go TV and channel 372 on DSTV, at Smart24 TV on Twitter, Smart24 TV Official, that's on Facebook, and Smart24 TV Live, that's on YouTube, as you will be in position to catch us at whatever part of the globe you will be at. Till next week, goodbye.
Smart 24